Hey everyone, thank you for joining New Jersey Wedding Podcast. This is the podcast to listen to while planning your wedding in New Jersey and elsewhere. We have some great wedding tips, but we do have a lot of vendors and venues from New Jersey that we speak to as
Mhm.
well. So thanks for joining us today. We are your hosts, Andrea Pertel and Celia Milton, and we are both professional wedding officiants here in the state of New Jersey. And how are you doing today, Celia?
I'm fine. I've done all my weddings and all our baby namings and everybody is married and or named. So I think everything's fine.
It was a crazy, we're coming off of the 4th of July weekend here.
It
It
was
was kind of
crazy.
a crazy extended long weekend because what was the 4th of July on a Thursday or something?
Thursday. It feels like it's been months that it's been
Right.
4th of
This is
July.
the longest weekend so
I know.
far I've
It
ever
is.
had, and it's been crazy and fun and a lot of traffic, but we know how to, we were all on time for everything because we
That's
know,
right. Because
and
we're professionals. That's why.
yeah, it was a good weekend. It's good that it's done. I feel like, phew, completed that weekend.
That's right. That's right. Ready for Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but in other news, we did see, and I'm sure many people saw this story because it seemed like it was everywhere that I watch news or morning TV or midday TV. There is this bride who is charging her guests to attend her shower. Her guests, not only her guests, but her wedding party as well. She sent them an invitation with a bill for $300 per person. Plus, I mean, the only reason showers exist is to shower the couple with gifts, right? So there's a gift expected as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but nothing to me says celebration like an invitation with a bill in it.
Right, right. I saw this. It's been all over. Good
It's been
Morning
everywhere.
America, ABC News.
Yeah.
It's real. Um, and I mean, at first I laugh about it. First I was like, oh, this is, and of course I wouldn't attend. I
No,
would,
me neither. Uh-uh.
and I'd be done at that point.
Yeah.
It's not like you're asking to go to, your favorite band's concert, um, which still at $300, I might not go.
Yeah, I'd be thinking about that too. But it just, it brings, we started to talk about this before we started to record, and it just brings up so many issues and questions that this could be 8 podcasts, but we'll try to keep it kind of finite.
Right. Yeah,
The
yeah.
the first thing the first thing I wondered is like, why is this bride having anything to say about her shower?
Right.
Showers, I don't know. I was married 50,000 years ago. If you had a shower at all, your wedding party got together, maybe with your parents or your moms, and you planned something little where you had, God, I catered thousands of these. You have sandwiches and some salads and people bring gifts and you have some champagne and some seltzer and you go home.
Right, right. I remember going to it, and I know times have changed. I don't want to be that person. I
Yeah, I
remember
know.
back in the day, and I'm not that old, but I remember back in the day going to my friend's bridal shower, and it was in her living room. Now it was good
Yeah,
food. People brought food, or must have had it catered or something. But it was
yeah.
in one of the bridal party, probably her maid of honor's home, and
Mhm.
we did play those silly games. I remember that. But it was a lot of fun. It was girls
Fun.
getting together for an afternoon out, and there were drinks and good food and a lot of laughter, and we brought uh gifts and stuff like that. But is that the bridal shower? I might be getting the shower mixed up with the
No,
bachelorette as
that's
I
that's
talk
exact
now.
no,
That's
that's
a
exactly
shower,
it.
right?
And
Yeah.
not every single woman that's invited to the wedding was invited to the shower. It's usually,
Right.
like close friends, close
Close
family.
friends and family.
So
Yes.
it's casual. It's not like. And the person going to the shower, being showered, really doesn't have any say in it,
Right,
which
it's like
this
a
is,
surprise party to them.
yeah,
I don't
it's
know
like a
where my
little
shower is
surprise
gonna
party.
take place, yeah.
Gosh. But it kind of leads into this bigger discussion about how expectations have become kind of out of control for couples getting married. And part of it is the media, yes, part of it is the industry, which we are part of.
I
But
don't fall into all that
I
industry
know, yeah,
stuff.
I know.
You have to
Listen,
have this, you
you
gotta
don't
do
have, you don't have to have
um
any of this. But
yeah.
I think seeing all this, people, I don't know, people still go to Pinterest? I don't even know. It's like,
Yes.
well, there's all these, we're going to have a 6 day, long weekend in Puerto Rico and expect the bridal party to pay for that and be able to go. And there's a lot of expectations that I think have really cropped up over the last few years that
Yeah.
were
And
never
when you
really
say
there
that,
before.
Celia, do you mean for the wedding or for the bachelorette or bachelor party or
I th-
both?
I think for kind of everything, but like,
Yeah.
right now we're going to try to rein it in for like, I think that, the things that people expect from their wedding party.
Mhm.
And how those, it used to be, yes, maybe they would have a shower. Bachelorette party, I don't know, mine was in a pizza place. There were like 10 of us and we went out the night before because then we had to get dressed and stuff the next day. But there was no talk about going to Newport or going to Puerto Rico for 5 days.
Right,
That's
right.
it's
And
like, really?
that's not uncommon. I know ones that we're doing a weekend in Newport, so they got to get from Jersey to Newport. And I'm thinking, how these, they've only been out of college for a certain amount of years, and
Yeah.
how are these people in their mid to late 20s affording this, and then or flying to Miami for a weekend there. I mean, um yeah, it's gotten very expensive. It's gone from it's gotten extreme. Like, I
I think
know
so too.
things change, but it
Mhm.
has gotten extreme, to the point where I know that the wedding party is griping about it behind the
Yes.
bride's back. And I think
Yeah.
that when you pick your wedding party, you make the couple makes their budget, but you got to think that they must have a budget as
Yeah.
well. Right? Want to get married without the stress of a big wedding? Looking for a ceremony that's all about the two of you? Or maybe you just can't wait to say I do. New Jersey Elope can make your dream of an intimate and unforgettable wedding day a reality. Picture this: exchanging vows with the sand between your toes on a beautiful beach, saying I do surrounded by nature in a serene park, or celebrating your love under the elegant arch in my cozy office. So, whether you crave the coastal breeze, the charm of the outdoors, or a private, hassle free setting, we have the perfect elopement ceremony for you. Visit NewJerseyElope.com and start planning your dream wedding today. New Jersey Elope, where your love story begins.
You'd assume too that, the people, theoretically, the people who are in your wedding party on both sides, and you keep talking about bridesmaids, but there's obviously groomsmen too, and there's apparel and there's maybe a bachelor party and those kinds of things. But,
Yeah.
you would think that the people that you're picking to be with you standing on that day are your siblings or your closest friends. And you probably know them to the extent, or you should, to the extent that you sort of know what their financial situation is. Maybe they're in their first job after college. Maybe they're still in college and, working. And, that's not everybody. I read, I think it was in the New York Times, that the average cost to being a bridesmaid, they didn't really address the groomsmen part of this, is $2,000,
Wow.
which is kind of like, it's between the parties. And I thought, honestly, I thought that was kind of low, between
Yeah,
the parties and
exactly.
the dress and hair and makeup and things that I traditionally thought, like, if you're going to want professional hair and makeup for your women in your wedding party, traditionally you pay for it, as
Mhm.
the wedding couple pays for that.
Right.
um
Part of
you
part
know
of their wedding budget. But I
yeah.
know it's kind of changed now, right?
Well, and I think that, the kindest thing really to do is to have a discussion with, see, I think one of the good things about all this publicity about, wedding parties being like well, hell no. A lot of the good that's being done with that is that there's there's knowledge on the part of people who are being asked to be in that position. It's like, wait a second, this could cost me $2,000. And if they're in that age group where like all their friends are getting married, it's probably not just one wedding. How many people have you talked to that, we talk to them maybe when they're going to be a bride or a groom. It's like, well, we've been in 5 weddings this year. It's like,
Right,
oh
right.
my
Uh,
God.
Or or attending it because I do have a son that's 28 years old and my daughter who's 32. They've been going to weddings left
Oh, I
and
bet.
right, you
I
know,
bet.
and yeah, and even my daughter had said that even though a couple of them, she wasn't in the wedding party, but she did go to the bridal showers and the engagement
Mhm.
party, and you have to buy a dress to go to it. She's going, this is costing me. I love seeing all my friends getting married and stuff, but this is
Yeah.
starting to cost me, you know.
Yeah, it's starting to add
But
up. Um,
if you're in it, then the price has really gone up. So when you I think the couple, before they ask the people to be in their wedding party, they need to decide what they're paying for and what their
mhm. Yeah,
expectations are from the people in their wedding party, their maid of honor and their bridesmaids, their best
yeah,
man and their groomsmen. When you ask them to be in it, what are you covering and what you expect them to cover, from the
right,
dresses and the suits to the hair and makeup to the travel and lodging to the bridal shower, bachelorette party.
right.
What else is there? Yeah, there's some people have an engagement party as well. You know, I don't know. So I know that sometimes the bride will give as a gift to her bridesmaids, for being with them. She might gift them a piece of jewelry that they
Hmm.
all wear on the day of
Hmm.
the ceremony, with their dress. I don't
I
know what
think, I
else.
think, well, I think, the important thing really is to, if you are a bride or a groom and you have an expectation of having, these like destination bachelorette parties, that, that your expectation should be communicated to the people that you're asking when you ask them. And so they can really kind of figure out whether they can afford to actually do that. And that leads to a tiny little detour about like, I don't know if this is still a thing now, but there used to be, instead of just asking people to be in your wedding party, it's like they made proposal boxes, like you propose to all of them. And, in a way, it's like, okay, it's very cute, but it also makes it harder to say no.
Right. I'm remembering, I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's quite funny. Bridesmaids.
I think
Um,
I have.
Kristen Wiig is in it. I forget the okay, I forget her last name, but they're very, very funny. And it does show that the maid of honor is having a tough time in her life. Her store has gone under or something like that. So financially, she's just trying to keep up with everyone. But the invitations, it was like a butterfly flies out of the
Oh my
invitation,
gosh.
and there was this whole thing, it was really ridiculous, because some have gotten out there. How do I ask them? And that's become something in itself, right? Yeah,
I think, everything. I personally feel like we're on kind of the rebound of things getting completely out of control as far as like
exactly.
giant bridal parties and asking for elaborate things to be thrown for you. I mean, I know from my own calls recently that I have people with no bridal parties at all. And in fact, I had a conversation just this week. One of the reasons that they decided to do that is that we don't want our friends are all in grad school and we don't want them spending all this money. The guys are all buying, they're going to buy a suit, whatever suit, as long as they're in a suit. And then, well, they're in grad school. Eventually they're going to be looking for a job, right? So then they can use it to like job hunt. So
Right.
it makes a lot of sense. When you really think about it, I mean, the, the time leading up to the wedding, I mean, yeah, it's fun and it's, you know, it's ideally it's a celebration for your friends and family and everybody, you know, to get together and enjoy this momentous occasion. But I think
Celebrate
that
the
just like
milestones. Yeah.
celebrate it, yeah, but like the money thing, I think it's really good to be cognizant of what is going to put a strain on that relationship. Because, you know, listen, money has a lot to do with every relationship, with lots of relationships that are broken.
Yes. Yes,
And
absolutely.
you know, it's, you know, if you feel like you really can't be part of it, um, as an attendant, you know, that those things should just be, it should be dealt with gracefully, because not everybody has, you know, the same priority for their money as a couple does, and they may just not be able to participate in that way. I mean, the easy people ask me this on Core all the time. It's like, how do I decline being an attendant? It's like, it's easy. I would love to be part of your wedding and I will enjoy being a guest. The end.
Yeah.
You know,
And uh,
you don't know anybody an explanation.
so the couple has some choices. If they don't want to put their friends out, they have a smaller wedding party. And if
Mhm.
the people in the wedding party can pay for their dresses and hair and makeup, then great. But if you have a smaller wedding party, one or two girls, then you can pay for it. Um,
Mhm.
and instead of having a destination vacation bachelor or bachelorette party, you don't have to fly to Vegas. I see a lot right here. I see groomsmen, if golf is their thing, they will go for a day of golfing and then out to dinner and enjoy dinner and drink somewhere. Maybe do something where if you have a larger party, you get like a private, limo to take you so
Mhm.
you're not
Mhm.
driving, or a party bus to take you. There's also the girls will have, like, instead of, a weekend in Newport, they will do something like a spa day as their bachelorette party, and then out to dinner again. Always end it with like a fun dinner with everyone. Or you can do something, something fun and athletic. There's a stand-up paddleboard down the road. I've seen them do some
Oh, that
bridal
sounds like fun.
parties, right? Or you could do something like that. We have the floating tiki bar out there you could rent for the day. You
Oh, I
can do
like that too.
there's plenty of local things where, if you want your bridal party to, if the expectation is they pay for it their way, then cut out the travel expense of it and find something fun local,
Yeah. Yeah. I
because you're
think,
about to go on a honeymoon anyhow. Save that travel for you
yeah.
and your
Yeah.
your spouse.
I think that, you know, the key is just, you know, letting people know exactly what expectations are. So people, you know, the people that you're asking can make a rational decision about whether that's really financially or, you know, feasible for them, even just
Right.
in terms of time.
And
You know,
that
if
way
you
you
get,
won't lose friendships over
not,
over money, right?
oh my God, but you never charge people to come to a shower. That was like, what? Are you kidding me? It's
I
like,
know, I
you
know.
know, I
Well,
mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of things that you should not even consider charging guests for, and that's a whole other podcast that we'll get to. But
I want to
no,
know more about this girl.
oh my gosh,
I want to
well, I
know
can tell
more
you,
about her. Where does this entitlement, where did this thought come from?
I don't
And
know, but
yeah,
probably no friends left. I don't know.
I know, right? And it was marrying her. No, I shouldn't say that, but um, I do want to ask our listeners, because I want to know. I want you to share your stories. What's the craziest thing a couple has asked you as a guest or a part of their wedding party? Has anybody had? I don't know anybody personally that has had something this extravagant asked
No.
of them, and I'm wondering if you have a story to share with us. We'd love to hear it. And so you can email us at Andrea at thisjoyous.com, but you can also just message us on the social media, which is New Jersey Wedding Podcast,
There you
Instagram,
go.
Facebook. Send a message or go to the website. There's a contact form, New Jersey Wedding Podcast, and you could let us know your story. Also, that's kind of a funny thing to ask, but also, what about what are your thoughts of what the couple should pay for and what the wedding party should pay for? I'd like to know that too. Um,
We
which
won't tell anybody you asked us about.
no, we didn't. We never say the names. Oh,
I'll
so
never
I
tell
can say
anybody about
we don't.
anything. So
No, we'll say
yeah.
person A or person B told us.
It-
This is what
it's,
we had.
you
No,
know,
we never share that. Yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting, right?
I think I'm personally seeing in my couples less of a bridal party to begin with,
Yeah,
less of, because in the course of working with people and getting their scripts together and doing all these, it's a process with us. It's not like, you call us and then we write it and then we see you, goodbye. Oh, it's like, oh, we're going on our bachelorette trip. And, I'm seeing less and less of that. I'm seeing smaller wedding parties. I'm seeing, we always talk about kind of about trends, but I'm seeing less and less people in the bridal parties. I'm seeing less and less formal events, um, leading up to and after the weddings. And I think it's good.
right.
It's,
It's a it's a reflection of the budget, I think, for both
yes,
the couple and
absolutely.
they're keeping their friends' budgets in mind. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's what friends do for each other.
right,
Yeah,
right.
excellent. Okay, cool.
All
Cool.
right. Thank you
All right.
everyone for joining us today. We want to hear from you and happy planning.
Bye.